We've all been there, in the heart of a crucial moment, a job interview, a first date, when our nerves suddenly seize control, steering us into a storm of sweaty palms and faltering words. It feels as if we are merely passengers in our own bodies, helpless against a racing heart and a cascade of chaotic thoughts. But what if the wisest minds of antiquity, the Stoics, had already mastered the art of composure long before anxiety became a household word? Today, we journey into their world, to uncover secrets not just for enduring life's pressures, but for thriving within them. If you've ever felt captive to your own emotions, stay with us. These insights are transformative. We are about to learn how to wield ancient Stoic strategies, empowering you to remain the master of your own mind, no matter what life may bring. And if this journey resonates with you, consider sharing it with someone who might find strength in these words. Let us begin. Habit 1. Understanding emotions. Imagine your emotions as a well-meaning friend who doesn't always grasp social cues. They aren't your enemy. They are vital signals, guiding you away from threats, celebrating your triumphs, and deepening your human connections. The trouble is, if left unmanaged, these same emotions can overwhelm our reason. This is thanks to the ancient wiring of our brains, designed for a world far different from our own. Think of it like this. When an emotion ignites, it's like an alarm bell sounding in your mind, loud, urgent, and indifferent to whatever you are doing. This alarm can trigger before your rational mind has even had a chance to process the situation, leaving you feeling overwhelmed and out of control. But here is the profound truth. You are not at the mercy of this internal alarm. This is where Stoicism offers its first lesson. It teaches that it is not the emotions themselves that need to be suppressed, but our knee-jerk reactions to them. While we may not control when an emotion strikes, or with what intensity, we always possess the power to decide what happens next. The goal isn't to become emotionless, but to cultivate the ability to pause, to breathe, and to respond with intention instead of reacting on instinct. How is this achieved? It begins with recognition. By becoming aware of what triggers our emotions, we can begin to understand them. This is not an overnight transformation. It requires patience and introspection. But learning to see these emotional signals as informative, not directive, allows us to take the helm and steer our lives in a direction that aligns with our deepest values. Habit 2. The Stoic view on emotions. The Stoics believed that our emotions are the direct result of our judgments about the world. For instance, if you judge that being interrupted in a meeting is a personal attack, you will feel anger. Here, the Stoic path becomes truly compelling. It teaches that by changing our judgments, we can change our emotional state. This isn't about denying your feelings, but about questioning the beliefs that give them power. Consider Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He faced adversities that would crush most people: political treachery, constant warfare, and devastating plagues. Yet, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He understood that external events have no inherent power to dictate our inner peace. The choice of how we respond is always our own. Another great Stoic, Epictetus, put it plainly. It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things. This is a revolutionary shift in perspective, placing control firmly back in our hands. While we cannot always control that first flash of feeling, we can control what follows. We can pause, reflect, and choose not to be swept away by a negative emotion rooted in a flawed assumption. What makes the Stoic approach so liberating is its practicality. The Stoics used powerful mental exercises like the premeditation of adversity, premeditatio malorum. By calmly contemplating potential hardships, they mentally prepared themselves to face challenges with an even temper, lessening the shock of an unexpected turn of events. This isn't pessimism. It's a profound form of mental and emotional resilience training. Through these teachings, Stoicism invites us to see life not as a series of emotional disruptions, but as a training ground for cultivating strength, wisdom, and a peace that cannot be shaken. Habit 3. The power of choice. Now that we understand our emotions spring from our judgments, let us explore the profound Stoic principle of choice. This is not the power to choose what happens to us. That is often beyond our control. It is the power to choose our response. And in that choice lies our ultimate freedom. The Stoics taught that between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. This single idea is incredibly empowering. It means that no matter what life presents, a harsh word, a financial loss, a personal tragedy, we have the final say. Think of life as an intricate dance. Events move toward us, and our emotions can react in a flash. But like a skilled dancer, we can choose our steps. We can decide how to move with, around, or through our emotional impulses. This doesn't mean ignoring our feelings. It means acknowledging them, and then consciously deciding on a course of action that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. The key to unlocking this power is to cultivate what the Stoics called prosochi, or mindful attention. It is the practice of being fully present, of recognizing our emotional triggers as they arise, and consciously choosing our response. By practicing this mindfulness, we widen that space between stimulus and response, granting ourselves the crucial moments needed to choose wisely. This power is what allowed philosophers like Seneca to remain composed even in times of extreme peril. He advised rehearsing worst-case scenarios not to dwell in negativity, but to diminish their emotional impact, making us less reactive and more responsive when adversity truly strikes. Habit 4. Techniques for action over emotion. Knowing you have a choice is the first step. Acting on it requires a practical toolkit. Here are time-tested Stoic techniques to help you choose reasoned action over emotional reaction, turning inner turmoil into triumph. The first and most powerful technique is the simple act of pausing. When a strong emotion flares, grant yourself a moment before you speak or act. This pause is a crucial buffer, allowing your rational mind to catch up to your initial impulse. In this brief interlude, you can identify the emotion. Is it anger? Fear? Frustration? Simply naming it can reduce its power, allowing you to respond rather than react. Another core strategy is to reframe your thoughts. This involves consciously shifting your perspective. If another driver cuts you off, instead of assuming malice and succumbing to rage, consider other possibilities. Perhaps they are rushing to an emergency. By changing the story you tell yourself, you can change your emotional response, preserving your peace and perhaps even finding a moment of empathy. Values-based decision-making is also a cornerstone of Stoic practice. When faced with a choice, ask yourself, does reacting this way align with my core values? What would the best version of myself do? By anchoring your actions in your principles, you ensure that your responses build the character you aspire to, rather than being dictated by a fleeting emotion. Finally, practice emotional acceptance. This is not resignation. It is acknowledging your feelings without judgment. Observe your emotions as you would clouds passing in the sky. Notice them, name them, but do not let them become the storm that carries you away. By practicing these techniques, they become second nature, fundamentally reshaping how you experience your own mind and the world around you. Habit 5. The benefits of choosing action over emotion. When we consistently choose our actions, aligning them with reason rather than impulse, we cultivate a profound inner stability, a quality that is felt by everyone around us. This stability makes us more reliable, more trustworthy. In our relationships, it deepens bonds. Loved ones come to see us as pillars of strength, capable of navigating conflict with grace rather than escalating it with raw emotion. Professionally, the ability to remain calm under pressure is invaluable. Workplaces can be emotional cauldrons, but the capacity for composure distinguishes true leaders. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about managing responses in a way that is constructive and considered. Decisions made from this state of mind are more strategic, more thoughtful, leading to better outcomes and earning a level of respect that inspires others. On a personal level, this practice builds immense resilience and mental fortitude. The Stoics saw trials as opportunities for growth. By facing challenges with a clear and composed mind, we train ourselves to handle future stress with greater ease. This resilience can dramatically improve our well-being, reducing anxiety and increasing our overall satisfaction with life. We are no longer just reacting to our circumstances. We are actively shaping our journey through them. This path also cultivates a deep self-awareness. We learn to understand our emotional triggers and manage them effectively. This awareness then extends outward, enhancing our empathy and our ability to understand others. With this heightened perception, we can navigate social landscapes with greater skill and compassion, forging deeper and more meaningful connections. Habit 6. Overcoming the challenges. Mastering your emotions is a noble pursuit, but it is not an easy one. The path of the Stoic is paved with challenges that test our resolve and our commitment to living a philosophical life. One of the greatest hurdles is the sheer intensity of our emotions. They can surge with astonishing speed and power, overwhelming even the most dedicated practitioner. These reactions are driven by deep-seated habits reinforced over a lifetime. The key is not to fight these feelings, but to acknowledge their presence without surrendering our will to them. This requires a high level of self-awareness and the courage to pause in the heat of the moment, a skill forged through consistent daily practice. Another challenge is maintaining consistency. It is one thing to be composed in a calm environment, and quite another to hold your center in the midst of a crisis. This is where the Stoic practice of mentally rehearsing adversity proves its worth. By preparing our minds for difficulty before it arrives, we reduce its power to shock and destabilize us when it inevitably does. Furthermore, we may face skepticism, both from within and without. You might doubt if these ancient principles can truly hold up against modern problems. Others may view emotional regulation as detached or unnatural. The answer to this skepticism is not in argument, but in action. As you begin to embody the calm, rational, and resilient character that Stoicism promotes, the benefits become undeniable, both to yourself and to those who observe you. Integrating these practices into a fast-paced world is a challenge in itself. To counter the constant pressure to react, it is vital to set aside time for reflection, through journaling, meditation, or simply quiet contemplation. This daily commitment anchors us in our principles, gradually weaving the wisdom of Stoicism into the very fabric of our being. Habit 7. Real-life applications. Let us bring this philosophy from the page into our lives. Consider a scenario at work. You have poured your soul into a project, but a colleague criticizes it unfairly during a presentation. Your first impulse might be to lash out, to defend your work with anger. A Stoic, however, would pause. They would acknowledge the sting of irritation but choose not to act on it. Instead, they might calmly ask for specific feedback, turning a potential conflict into an opportunity for improvement. This response not only preserves professional relationships, but builds a reputation for unshakable composure. Or imagine a conflict at home with a loved one. In the heat of an argument, a Stoic recognizes the rising emotional tide. Instead of adding to the storm, they choose to listen, to truly hear the other person's perspective without immediately planning a rebuttal. This conscious choice to respond with understanding can de-escalate tension and transform a conflict into a moment of connection. Consider the personal challenge of self-discipline, sticking to a fitness routine or a healthy diet. It is easy to surrender to momentary fatigue or cravings. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on our long-term values over short-term comforts. By reminding yourself of the person you want to become, you can find the strength to act in alignment with your higher goals rather than your immediate desires. In times of true crisis, a financial setback or the loss of someone dear, the Stoic focus on what we can control becomes an invaluable anchor. While grief and stress are natural, Stoicism helps us navigate these dark waters without being drowned by them. We learn to accept our pain as part of the human experience, but we do not let it define our character or dictate our actions. In every instance, Stoicism offers a path not of emotional suppression, but of conscious, chosen, and virtuous action. Habit 8. The scientific backing. While its roots are ancient, the wisdom of Stoicism is strongly supported by modern science. One of its core practices, regulating emotional responses, is what psychologists today call emotional regulation. Extensive research shows that individuals skilled in this area enjoy better mental health, greater life satisfaction, and stronger relationships, confirming the Stoic assertion that mastering our reactions is a key to well-being. Neuroscience reveals why these practices work. The brain's prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational thought, is responsible for managing the instinctual reactions of more primitive areas like the amygdala. When we practice Stoic techniques like pausing and reframing our thoughts, we are actively strengthening the prefrontal cortex. This mental training builds neural resilience, making it easier over time to choose a reasoned response, even under immense stress. Furthermore, the principle of neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself, validates the Stoic emphasis on daily practice. Each time we consciously choose a thoughtful response over a reactive one, we reinforce the neural pathways for that behavior. It is like building a muscle. The more we exercise our emotional discipline, the stronger it becomes. Studies have shown that consistent mindfulness and reflection can lead to measurable changes in brain structures associated with self-awareness, empathy, and stress reduction. By understanding the science, we can appreciate that Stoicism is not merely a comforting philosophy. It is a practical and evidence-based system for improving the human condition. It provides a timeless framework for navigating life's challenges with grace and strength, empowering us not just to endure, but to truly flourish. We now turn to the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, its implementation through daily practice. The ninth habit is not a single action, but a collection of rituals that transform abstract ideals into a lived reality. One of the most profound of these practices is the discipline of mindfulness. This is the art of dedicating time each day to simply be present, to focus on the here and now without judgment. You might begin with just 5 minutes of silent meditation each morning, focusing on your breath and observing your thoughts as they pass. This creates a crucial mental space around your reactions, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with thoughtful composure rather than raw impulse. This presence can be cultivated not only in silence but throughout your day, while eating, walking, or in conversation, by being fully attentive to the moment at hand. Another powerful tool is the daily journal. This is your private space to reflect upon your experiences and the choices you made. It is an opportunity to evaluate what went well and what could be improved, not as an exercise in self-criticism, but as a commitment to self-improvement. Write about the moments you successfully applied Stoic principles and the times you fell short. Over time, you will begin to see patterns, gaining invaluable insight into your emotional triggers and discovering where to focus your efforts. The morning is also a time for preparation. Many find it valuable to begin with a page of philosophical reading, drawing inspiration from the likes of Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus. This nourishes the mind and reinforces the virtues you wish to embody. Following this, engage in visualization. Much like an athlete preparing for a game, take a few minutes to imagine yourself facing the day's challenges with stoic grace. Envision handling a difficult situation with calmness or resolving a conflict with compassion and rationality. By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, you prepare yourself to act in accordance with your values when the moment arrives. Then, set a clear intention for the day. What stoic virtue do you wish to embody? Whether it is courage, justice, temperance, or wisdom, choose a focus. This could be a single, impactful action, a catalyst that aligns with your values and moves you closer to your goals. This intention will serve as your guide, making it easier to live up to your ideals as you navigate your day. Throughout your waking hours, remain conscious of your micro-decisions. The small choices you make, from what you eat to how you respond to an email, may seem insignificant, but they accumulate, shaping your character and your destiny. By making these choices with deliberate care, you strengthen your resolve and ensure your actions consistently reflect your principles. When strong emotions arise, practice the emotion-action split. Pause. Name the emotion you are feeling. Then, choose a rational response rather than reacting on instinct. This habit breaks the automatic link between feeling and action, allowing for more considered and effective outcomes. To build true fortitude, deliberately expose yourself to discomfort. This could mean taking a cold shower, fasting for a period, or engaging in a rigorous workout. This practice teaches you that you can endure and remain composed even in hardship, strengthening your resilience and proving that external conditions need not disrupt your inner tranquility. As your day concludes, return to reflection with the practice of gratitude. The Stoics believed that happiness lies in appreciating what we have, rather than longing for what we lack. At the end of each day, articulate 3 things for which you are grateful. It could be as simple as a warm meal, a kind word from a friend, or a task you accomplished. This ritual shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right, fostering a deep and abiding sense of contentment. For continued growth, consider a weekly feedback loop with a trusted friend or mentor. Discussing your behavior and reactions can provide an invaluable outside perspective, revealing blind spots you might otherwise miss. These practices are not mere exercises, they are transformative processes. When woven into the fabric of your daily life, they forge you into a more resilient, thoughtful, and balanced individual. They ground the lofty ideals of Stoicism in the reality of everyday experience, enabling you to live more fully and react more wisely, no matter what life throws your way. Each day presents a new opportunity to practice, and each practice is a step toward mastering the art of living well. Thank you for joining us today on Stoic Journal. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to strengthen your mind and lead a life of purpose and resilience. Be sure to watch one of our suggested videos to continue your journey with Stoicism, enriching your understanding and practice. We are grateful to have you in our community, exploring the profound wisdom of the Stoics together.